Let's get straight to the heart of it. Mornings are not just alarms ringing, coffee brewing, or rushing out the door with your hair barely brushed. Mornings are sacred. Mornings are powerful. And the very first thing you whisper to yourself, before the world even knows you're awake, becomes the foundation of your whole day. Think about it, my sister. The world is already noisy enough. You'll face the opinions of others, endless messages, pressure, and distractions. But the very first voice you hear each day, the one that belongs to you, is the one that matters most. And if you don't learn to guide it, it will guide you. I am enough. Before the world tries to tell you that you aren't pretty enough, strong enough, worthy enough, you must remind yourself, you already are. I can face whatever comes my way. Life will send storms, but storms don't shrink you, they shape you. Today I choose progress over perfection. Stop chasing flawless. Start chasing forward. My past does not own my future. Yesterday is already finished. Today belongs to me. I will not let fear sit in the driver's seat of my life. Fear may scream loud, but courage whispers stronger. I am responsible for my own joy. I will not outsource my peace to someone who cannot carry it. I will speak with confidence and walk with clarity. The way you carry yourself, sister, changes the way the world carries you. I am thankful for this very day. Gratitude is fuel. Gratitude shifts your eyes from what's missing to what truly matters. I will use my energy with wisdom. Not every battle is mine to fight. Some things deserve silence, not my spirit. I forgive myself for yesterday. I will not drag guilt into today like heavy chains around my ankles. I believe in my ability to figure things out. I don't need every answer right now. I simply need to trust that I will find my way. I am stronger than I feel, wiser than I think, and more capable than I have ever imagined. That's not hype, that's truth. Your mornings shape your mindset. The first words you speak to yourself become the fuel for your entire day. Imagine this with me. The very moment you open your eyes, your mind is like a blank canvas waiting for the very first brushstroke. You can cover it with worry, with stress, with complaints. Or you can paint it with power, with gratitude, with clarity. The difference between a day you control and a day that controls you often lies in the very first thoughts you allow to settle into your soul. When you wake up, your mind is impressionable. It's like soft clay waiting to be molded. If the first thing you say is, "This day is going to be so hard," your brain believes it and starts searching for evidence to prove it true. But if the first thing you breathe out is, "I am ready, I can handle whatever comes," your brain believes that too. And then it looks for reasons to support that belief. Sisters, the words you speak to yourself are not just words. They are instructions. They are commands. They are the script your brain will follow all day long. If the first thing you do is roll over, grab your phone, and scroll through bad news, comparison traps, and negativity, you've already surrendered your peace to voices that don't even know your name. But if you take even 60 seconds to be still, to breathe, and to speak strength into yourself, you've taken back control before the world even had a chance to interrupt. And no, this is not about pretending life is perfect. We both know life is not. Struggles come, heartbreaks come, responsibilities press down heavy. But your mindset is not about pretending. It's about preparing. When you begin your day with strength, you are preparing yourself to meet challenges with courage instead of collapse. When you remind yourself of your worth first thing in the morning, you don't go out into the world begging for crumbs of validation. When you decide your direction before stepping out of bed, no one else can easily push you off course. Think of your morning words like the ignition of a car. If you put in the wrong fuel, the engine sputters, chokes, and stalls. But when you fill it with the right fuel, the engine roars steady, strong, ready to take you where you need to go. Your mind is no different. The first thing you feed it will echo all day. If you feed it doubt, you'll hesitate. If you feed it courage, you'll move forward. If you feed it gratitude, you'll notice blessings. If you feed it negativity, you'll see problems in every corner. So tomorrow morning, pause. Don't rush. Breathe. Whisper something to yourself that lifts you, not tears you down. Tell yourself you are worthy. Tell yourself you are enough. Tell yourself you have choices, you have voice, you have power. Because the truth is, the words you speak to yourself in the morning are not just shaping your day, they are shaping your life. If you can win your mornings, you can win your days. If you can win your days, you can win your weeks. And if you keep winning your weeks, one day you will look back and realize you have built a life that reflects the strength you chose every single morning. Affirmations are not fluff. They are not silly words. They are the training ground of your mind. What you speak, you start to believe. And what you believe, you start to live. Your brain listens closely. It listens not only to the voices of the world, but most importantly, to your own. Every word, every phrase, every thought you repeat to yourself digs a groove, a pathway. And the more you walk that path, the deeper it gets. So, my sister, when you tell yourself things like, I can't do this, I'm not good enough, I always fail, those words don't just pass by. They plant roots. They grow into weeds that strangle your potential. And without even realizing it, they become part of your identity. But the opposite is also true. When you say, I am capable, I can figure this out. At first, it may feel like nothing more than words. But keep repeating it. Keep walking that path. And soon your thoughts, your focus, your actions begin to align with the truth of those words. Your mind doesn't separate what is real from what is rehearsed. It simply follows the script you hand it. Affirmations are not about lying to yourself. They're about choosing the story you want to tell until that story becomes the life you live. If you tell your mind every morning, I am confident, you will notice yourself standing taller, making eye contact, speaking with more strength. If you tell your heart, I am grateful, you will begin to see blessings in the smallest details of your day. And when you declare, I am resilient, life will still bring setbacks, but instead of breaking, you'll bounce back. Words are seeds. What you plant grows. Plant weeds, and weeds will choke you. Plant seeds of faith, of strength, of love, and your life will bloom with courage and possibility. You get to decide what garden your mind becomes. And you decide it through the words you repeat daily, especially in the morning. This is not magic. It is discipline. Just as lifting weights once won't make your body strong, affirmations spoken once won't transform your soul. But when you do it daily, when you do it faithfully, you begin to notice. You think differently, you choose differently, you live differently. All because your mind has been gently trained to see yourself in a new light. So the next time you stand in front of that mirror, pause for a moment and remember this truth. You're not just looking at your reflection. You're not just glancing at a face in the glass. You are speaking to your very soul. You are programming your thoughts. You are shaping the story of who you are becoming. Choose words that lift you up, not words that hold you down. Speak life, not defeat. Speak strength, not weakness. Give your heart and your mind instructions that lead to growth, not fear. Because what you tell yourself again and again is what you start to believe. And what you believe in your heart is what you begin to live out. And when you live from belief instead of doubt, you don't just drag yourself through the day. You create it, you guide it, you own it. Confidence, dear woman, is not just a feeling that comes and goes like the weather. Confidence is a choice every morning. Before the world tells you who you are, remind yourself of the truth. Too many women wait for confidence to arrive like it's a visitor, like it's some magical wave of energy that will suddenly show up and sweep them off their feet. But confidence does not work that way. Confidence is not about waiting until you feel ready. It is about deciding to act even when you don't feel ready at all. It's about daring to trust yourself before you have proof, before you have applause, before you have permission. Feelings change. They rise and fall. But choices build consistency. And every time you choose confidence, even in the smallest ways, you strengthen it. Think of confidence as a muscle. If you wait to feel strong before you ever pick up a single weight, you will never begin. But if you pick up that weight while your arms still feel weak, your body slowly, steadily learns how to grow strong. The same is true for your heart, for your spirit, for your mindset. You don't wait until you feel fearless before you share your idea, before you step into the room, before you raise your voice, before you walk toward that dream. No. You choose to do it anyway, with your knees shaking, with your heart racing, with your voice trembling. And every time you do, your confidence grows. It doesn't grow because the fear vanishes. No, the fear may still be there. But confidence grows because you chose not to let fear be the one making your decisions. The world is loud, and it will not stop talking. It will try to label you, to put you in boxes, to remind you of every mistake and every failure. That is why it is so important, so critical, for you to remind yourself of who you are before the noise begins. If you don't define yourself, someone else will. And most of the time, their definition will be far too small for the greatness God planted inside you. Confidence, real confidence, is choosing to believe in your worth without waiting for anyone else's approval. It's rising each morning and saying to yourself, I know my value. I know my strength. I know what I carry. I know what I bring into this world. Confidence does not mean you have all the answers. It simply means you trust yourself enough to find them. Confidence does not mean you will never fail. It means that even if you stumble, you will rise again. It does not mean you will always hear applause. It means that even when there is silence, you will keep going. Confidence is steady, not flashy. It is not about hype or ego. It is about standing grounded in who you are, refusing to shrink back when life challenges you. And here is the truth that many forget. Confident women are not without fear. They feel it deeply, but they decide to walk forward anyway. They have trained themselves not to be perfect, but to keep choosing action over hesitation. They have trained themselves to remember their identity instead of letting the world hand them one. And because they keep making this choice day after day, their confidence may look natural, but behind the scenes, it was built by countless small decisions. So stop waiting for confidence to just fall into your lap. Stop waiting for the right day, the perfect time, the magical moment when you feel ready. Start choosing it. Start now. Every morning, remind yourself of who you are. Remind yourself of what you have already overcome. Remind yourself of the storms you have already walked through. Remind yourself of the strengths you already carry, even if the world overlooks them. Because if you don't remind yourself, the world will be quick to point out your flaws. But hear me clearly, you are not your flaws. You are not your weaknesses. You are your choices. And when you choose confidence, you are not just preparing yourself for the day. You are declaring to the world, I decide who I am. Small declarations build powerful identities. Simple truths repeated every single day create unstoppable momentum. Most people underestimate the power of their own words. They think that in order to change, they must speak something grand, dramatic, or extraordinary. But the truth is, it's the simple words, the quiet truths you whisper to yourself daily, that shape the woman you are becoming. One sentence spoken consistently can completely shift the way you see yourself. And when you see yourself differently, you live differently. Think about this for a moment. If a woman wakes up every morning and tells herself, I'm always behind, I'm never enough, what happens? She lives into that story. She proves herself right over and over again. She drags her feet, she holds back, she doubts herself. But if that same woman begins to say, I am disciplined with my time, I am learning, I am growing, even if she is not perfect yet, she begins to align her actions with that declaration. Her words become the identity she carries, and her identity shapes her behavior. The secret is that small declarations are powerful because they feel believable. If you told yourself, I will be the wealthiest woman alive tomorrow, your mind might reject it because it doesn't match your reality. But if you tell yourself, I am learning to manage money better every day, your mind accepts it. And once it accepts it, it begins to create momentum. That momentum, though small at first, eventually grows into something unstoppable. Think of momentum like a snowball rolling down a hill. At first it's small, almost unnoticed, but with every turn it picks up more weight, more speed, more power. Declarations work the same way. Saying to yourself, I am capable, I am strong, I am growing, might feel small at first. But with repetition, days, weeks, months, those words reshape how you see yourself, how you act, and eventually how others see you as well. The secret is not in saying it once. The secret is in repetition. One truth spoken once is like a drop of water. But that same truth spoken daily is like a river carving its way through rock. Over time, it reshapes even the hardest places in your heart and mind. That is why the greatest transformations don't happen in one big moment. They happen slowly, steadily, through the rhythm of small truths spoken again and again. Your identity is not something you stumble upon. It is something you build. And you build it word by word, choice by choice, declaration by declaration. The woman who says, I can't do this, becomes the woman who never even tries. But the woman who says, I will figure this out, becomes the woman who finds a way. The difference is not luck, not talent, not intelligence. The difference is the daily story she chooses to reinforce. So if you truly want to change your life, start with your words. Start with your language. Start with the declarations you whisper to yourself every morning. Not once in a while, but every single day until they are etched into your soul. Because those small truths, spoken with consistency, don't just give you a burst of motivation. They create lasting momentum. And momentum, once it builds, is nearly impossible to stop. Your words today are building the woman you will live as tomorrow. So choose them wisely, speak them boldly, repeat them daily, and watch how they form a version of you that feels unshakable, unstoppable, undeniable. Your inner voice, dear woman, is the compass that sets the direction of your life. Speak life into yourself. Speak strength instead of fear. Speak love instead of doubt. And never forget, you are more powerful than you know. The conversations you hold with yourself are far more powerful than any conversation you will have with another person today. Before you make a choice, before you take a step, before you give an answer to life, there is always a voice inside your heart and mind. That voice can either lift you up or tear you down. Whichever it does will shape the quality of your decisions and the way you move forward. If that inner voice tells you that you cannot handle something, you will shrink back, hesitate, and play small. But if it whispers to you that you are strong, that you are capable, that you are ready, then you step forward with confidence, with clarity, and with a spirit full of energy. Most especially women don't realize how much that constant dialogue inside controls everything. You could have every gift in the world, every skill, every talent, but if the voice inside you is filled with fear, you will hide those gifts. You might be brilliant and full of potential, but if that voice whispers, don't fail. Don't look foolish. Don't try too hard. You will step into life afraid rather than prepared. On the other hand, when your inner voice chooses to speak strength, even when you do not feel perfect, you show up with more courage, more presence, and more resilience. It's not that fear disappears. It's that strength becomes louder than fear. Your outer life, the way people see you, is nothing but a reflection of the words you speak to yourself in silence. If you constantly tell yourself that you are not enough, you will end up accepting less than what you truly deserve. If you keep repeating to yourself that people do not respect you, you will begin to walk and carry yourself in a way that invites disrespect. But when you shift that inner voice and begin to say, I am worthy, I am strong, I am learning, I am becoming, everything changes. Your posture shifts, your choices improve, your results begin to align with your worth. The tone of your inner voice sets the tone of your whole life. This is why it is not enough to just quiet fear. You must replace it with strength. Fear speaks loudly, especially when you are stepping into something new, uncertain, or outside of your comfort zone. It tells you that you are not ready. It warns you that you will embarrass yourself. It tries to convince you that you are going to fail. And if you allow that voice to run wild, it becomes the soundtrack of your entire life. But when you train yourself to answer back with truth and strength, everything starts to shift. You can say, yes, I feel nervous, but I can still show up. Or you can remind yourself, yes, this is hard, but I have already handled harder things before. Strength does not mean pretending you are never afraid. It means not letting fear decide the final outcome. Picture two women walking into the same challenge. One says quietly inside, I don't belong here. The other one walks in telling herself, I deserve to be here. Same room, same opportunity. Two different inner voices, two completely different outcomes. That is the power of what you speak to yourself. It's not about how big the challenge is. It's about the tone you carry into it. This is why you must train your inner voice every single day. Speak words of courage. Speak words of strength. Speak words of truth. Remind yourself of what you have already overcome, of what you are still capable of, and of what you are reaching for. When you learn to master that inner voice, you master the actions that follow. And when your actions flow out of strength instead of fear, you don't just change the outcome of a single moment. You begin to change the entire direction of your life. Sometimes just a few sentences can shape your whole day. 12 short but powerful reminders in the morning can shift the way 12 full hours unfold. Many of us underestimate how much power lies in the first words we say to ourselves when we wake up. Too many women roll out of bed, start rushing into routine, and never stop to realize they have already surrendered control of their mindset before the day even begins. But the truth is this: the way you begin your morning sets the rhythm for everything that follows. A handful of intentional sentences spoken with real belief can serve like a compass for your soul. They won't erase challenges, but they will direct you towards strength, courage, and peace no matter what comes. Think of your mind in the morning as soft clay, still pliable and ready to be shaped. The first impressions pressed into it will harden into the mold you carry through the day. If your first thoughts are full of complaints, negativity, or doubt, that clay stiffens into fear and frustration. But if your first thoughts are full of power, simple truths like, I am enough, I am focused, I can handle today, then your mindset's strong in confidence and determination. It doesn't take hours of speeches. It doesn't take long pages of affirmations. Sometimes all it takes is a few sentences, clear, focused, and intentional. 12 sentences might not sound like much, but they act as reminders, and reminders are anchors. Life is noisy. Life is busy. Life pulls you in every direction. People will test your patience. Situations will test your faith. Unexpected problems will knock at your door. Without anchors, you drift. But with anchors, short, steady affirmations, you stay grounded. You stay rooted in truth. You remember who you are and what you have already decided. It's like setting guardrails in your thoughts so they don't crash into negativity. Imagine whispering to yourself each morning, I am enough. I can handle what comes. I choose progress, not perfection. My past does not define me. Fear will not control me. I am in charge of my attitude. Gratitude is my strength. I will use my energy with wisdom. I forgive myself. I trust myself to figure things out. I am stronger than I think. I own this day. That's 12 sentences, less than a minute to speak, but it gives you 12 hours of direction. Each one is like a trigger pulling your mind back to strength when the weight of the day tries to push you into weakness. It doesn't matter what stage of life you're in or what storm you may be facing. You don't need perfect conditions to reclaim control of your day. You just need reminders. The human mind forgets so quickly. We forget our victories. We forget our worth. We forget our strength. Affirmations are not about learning something new. They are about remembering what has always been true. And when you remind yourself enough, when you speak it enough, you begin to live differently. You walk with more steadiness. You speak with more confidence. You carry yourself with peace. 12 sentences can reshape 12 hours because they are not just words. They are decisions. They are choices. And when you choose your mindset before the world tries to choose it for you, you live with intention instead of reaction. You don't drift through your day. You direct it. And slowly, those daily directions turn into an entirely different life. It begins with 12 sentences each morning, but the impact stretches far beyond the day. It starts to shape your weeks, your seasons, even the woman you become. At the end of the day, it all circles back to one truth. The words you choose to speak to yourself are creating the life you live. Your mornings shape your mindset. Your affirmations instruct your thoughts. Confidence becomes a choice. Small declarations become the building blocks of a powerful identity. Your inner voice sets the tone. And even 12 simple sentences can transform 12 full hours. None of this asks you to be perfect. It only asks you to be intentional. The world will try to define you. It will try to label you. But when you begin your day by telling yourself the truth, you step forward with strength, with peace, and with direction. And when you win your mornings, you don't just win a day, you start building a life that reflects the very best version of the woman God designed you to be.